This time of year.
Yep, video.
Okay. Oh, it's letting one.
I'm going to go ahead and call us to order for the study session August 11th. Call to order, which I just did. Roll call, please.
Let's see, President Schaefer,
Here.
Vice President Perez, here. Secretary Uten, absent. President Secretary Schaefer,
Here.
and Director Fairman.
Present.
Yeah, for the record, Director Uden is out of state.
Yes.
Want to say he's maybe?
Let me wait till they get to the meeting on the other side. No, he's obviously. Thanks, Rob. Before we start, I just want to thank staff for reminding how much older I'm getting. Thank you. This is really sweet. My daughter-in-law put a thing on Facebook that you answer a bunch of questions, or no, it looks at your picture. It tells you how old you should be, right? Mine came up as 26.
Oh.
I told her I think that's wrong. I think they just turned the numbers around. Public comments. This is the time set aside for persons in the audience to comment on items within the subject matter that are not listed on the agenda. Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Seeing no one, then we'll move to item number 1 under items of study, the recycling and waste diversion reports.
Thank you, Mr. President. Javier Stevens, your report.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. This is standard recycling and waste diversion report with a breakdown of commodities, indicating a current 56.82% diversion rate.
Any questions?
Where do you see the 56 at? President isn't 57.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's 56.83
Combined.
Right. It's approximately 57, we're slightly in there. And that's in the waste diversion report.
I have a question. What are fines?
Sure. Fines are material that's left over, that's broken down, that are kind of like broken glass mixed with sand or textiles that are hard to separate. So that's what we consider fines.
That's correct. Little bits of plastic and things like that that don't get categorized.
What do they do with it?
Landfill.
Yeah.
Well, we're fortunate to have a outlet up in Waste Connections landfill up in Santa Clarita, and they use it for slope stability up in their landfill, so it's allowed for diversion. We can't use it for ADC down here because it's got too many pieces of glass in it. It would sparkle at night.
You don't want to use it in playground.
Can't do that.
How often do you take the truck up there?
Oh, we're probably taking 5 to 6 truck and trailers a day.
It's like stuff left over on the ground after everything's all.
Yeah.
After going through all the traumas and going over the sorting, and there's all those little fines left over. It's got food, blades of grass, plastics, little pieces of glass and so forth.
Okay, any other questions? We'll move to item 2, the code enforcement report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ed Roberts, begin with the report.
Good morning, President Schaefer, members of the board. I'll be providing the July 2015 officer report. For the month of July, I had approximately 6 scavenger investigations. Those were proactive. For the benefit of the board, we included a map with a statistical analysis of the month of where the distribution was. If you're curious, again, concentration was probably within about a 2-mile radius of headquarters here, concentrated primarily on the west side, and that seems to be the norm. Very, very few instances of scavenging in the north end of town, Mesa Verde, that's very rare. East side, again, not too much. Everything seems to be primarily west of the freeway.
You know, I think it was last Friday when we had a meeting in here, there was an elderly Hispanic lady I noticed going up and down here. I mean, she got a lot of stuff.
As a matter of fact, Javier and I were doing we're doing a study of Anaheim Street on another project. That woman, just for the benefit of the board, has some pretty severe mental issues. She's very diminished.
So you know who I'm talking about.
I'm very familiar with her. Most of the time it's just pull the car up, honk the horn, point at the cat, and she'll say, "Yes, Papi," or something like that. And that's really truly what she does, and she'll put her down. Her name is Avalos, Maria Avalos. And I just don't think it would be the benefit of anybody to issue citations or take any, enforcement action against her, because I think it would just not be a tactful thing to do.
I know, I appreciate that, and I mean, with the city of Costa Mesa going through some huge discussions about homeless issues and problems, and even stretching all the way to Santa Ana Civic Center with what the Board of Supervisors is doing now, we've got an emotional line there that sometimes is tough to.
Truly, I agree, sir, and 99% of the time it can be mitigated just by getting out of the car, chatting her up, and making sure the stuff gets dumped back into a cart. But I know one of the directors had asked me a question about scavengers. I've really focused on the alleyways on the east side of Costa Mesa, and in my patrols, it almost seems like the 55 freeway or Newport Boulevard is the line of demarcation. You just don't see a lot of folks in that area. I don't know because the population base is more proactive. We'll call the police on them more readily. I don't know, but I just I will see them on occasion, but not as prevalent as it is here.
Yeah. How's the social side? What are the
Like College Park, ma'am, in that area? Not really. I would say probably Wilson's. No, let me take that back. Probably Fair Drive and South is where I truly see it. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, right at the center of the yard. Yeah, exactly. Once you get into the single-family neighborhoods, it just doesn't seem to be the case.
I noticed you never mentioned it.
Yeah, I'm looking. It's just it's hard to find.
Everybody knows where she lives.
Yeah, I do too. I know where you all live.
Pretty close. That's right.
She might send Jim out on search and destroy.
I run into Director Uden all the time on his walks. So
He's a daily visitor in my office. He walks right by and stops.
yeah,
I got a quick question.
certainly, sir.
Where do you think these scavengers are taking these recyclables?
Most of them will take them over like Skater Brothers in that area.
Is that still open, City Brothers?
Not so much, but that's kind of like where I see them gravitating towards those motels, all those, because that's where they're staying. A lot of them are staying with SROs.
I know there's that one, I think I'd mentioned before, over on MacArthur and Fairview.
Yeah.
At the Ralph's, they've got a pretty active recycling center back in there.
If you want, I can gather some intelligence. I'll gather some facts. Hey, I'm sorry. I'll survey the folks I contact and see exactly where it is that they're taking.
Just for curiosity.
Not a problem, sir.
Can they get to Marshall's College?
That's probably where most of them are going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, because that's the only one they have one supposed to make.
Right. If any of you are ever curious, I'd be more than glad to take you out on the ride along if you want to see some of the, what they do and how they operate. Because they go into the neighborhoods, and these folks all gravitate at central locations in the Lions Park, over by the Alibaba, and they all convene there. And I don't know if they just put everything together. Yeah.
Wilson Park.
Wilson Park, absolutely.
That's the one that the mayor went to the other day to make his statements.
Yeah. I see the park rangers out there quite often. And for trash containers, these are the folks that were issued warning notices. It was 47. I brought it to my supervisor's attention. We're having kind of an issue with the delivery of the new green carts. Single-family homes are pretty aware that that's the trash cart that corresponds to their property. But when you come into these duplexes, triplexes, or 6 multi-family properties, we'll run into the phenomena like most people claim their trash cart and the one resident didn't, and it's just sitting at the curbside now. So there's no really way to track it, beyond getting out of the car, knocking on the door, whose car this is, and a lot of people are just doing the fingerprinting. So we're trying to track. There's a few of those, including one down the street here. I'll just get out and push the cart into the trash cart to get it out to the street, but I don't think some of the tenants or residents know that cart corresponds to them.
Was that cart on Mesa River?
I don't know about that one, sir.
There was one in the Parkway.
Is there one that's just
There
like
was a couple days ago.
A lot of people have approached me saying that they don't want the cart.
Just going to say, I've seen a lot of people that have left their organics carts sitting out, thinking if I just leave there, they'll take it away.
Well, a lot of the folks think that it's superfluous, and I told them, no, this is part of a new program. So once you educate them, you teach them what the idea behind the green card is, they're okay. They're like, oh, I just didn't need an extra card. You know, it's not an extra card. It's actually, you know, and oh, okay. So I think once, you know, if you just chat people up and, you know, let them know what's going on, what the purpose of the card is, when it's fine.
One comment for you and then a question for Scott. The one on Iowa Street, is that around the corner of Iowa and California Street?
Yeah, I believe so.
They are notorious for their carts being there. That's where I go to my house.
Well, you know, we ran into each other out there too. You know, it's I've got a couple people that it's just a revolving door tenant, or it's one of those single family homes where they've got, you know, just a crop of kids coming in and out the semester, and they'll be okay for 3 or 4 months, and then the new crop moves in, and here we go again. So,
the question for staff is, you know, where my office is, there's an alleyway behind my office that goes parallel to Royal Palm. Right? So from Baker Street south, those guys all have bins. They have 4-yard. And the city has a requirement that they be in an enclosure, right? On the alleyway north, for about 3 buildings, 2 or 3 buildings, it's a 4-unit. But they have individual cans with recycle cans. We don't require them to put them in an enclosed structure. So it's kind of funny when you look this way on the alley behind my office, it's all, everything's enclosed. But on this way, it looks...
No, as long as the car's out of the alleyway, we don't require
It's right on the alley. That's obviously...
Supposed to be out of view.
There's no way to put them out of
But
here.
the alley view's different. We always took an approach, viewing in front of people's homes. If it's in the alley, it's not an issue, as long as it's off the alley.
Just like you said.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like these.
Right.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from.
There's no different size card. The 60 is what the organic go. There's no
They get
smaller or bigger.
They get smaller. They get 32 gallons.
Oh, they can.
Yeah, but they can't get a larger one. Yeah.
Dean, how is the program going? Because I don't see that on the agenda. We'll talk about it.
We have our organic ad hoc committee.
Okay,
We'll talk about that. Yeah.
One question, I'm sorry, Mr. President. Ed, so we see the scavengers all the time. Would you call our problem, we're keeping on top of it? Is it a big problem, a small problem, or we just keep holding our own? Or how do you view how we're doing?
Sir, I'd characterize it. You know, it's a small problem. You know, there's a core group of people that are doing it. Costa Mesa, it's a revolving door of indigent folks. That's based off of my experience. I had my regular offenders; those have been dealt with, and by that I mean they've been corrected, contacted, and pretty much advised politics. The transient folks that I deal with, it's new faces, it's a new crop every time. They're just, you know, we're a destination city here for the charities, and the folks are gravitating to the community, and you know, that's how they support themselves. You know, canning is very prevalent with transient folks. So.
You know, I pull up and go to a gas station and drives up his bicycle, goes right in one can, right in the other container, and then drives out.
Right.
No shame anymore. All right, thanks.
My pleasure. That concludes my report. Are there any questions from the board?
I was just going to comment. I think one of the things that I think is successful is with the large item pickup, not scheduling it anymore. I've noticed a lot less junk trucks driving through. You know, when we had the large item scheduled for, those guys knew before, they probably knew before you did. I mean, you know, so I think that's helped a lot. Although I still have some neighbors that put their pile of newspapers out, or they put because they know the guy that's coming through the gate. So overall, I think it's a good program. Okay, the Organics Ad Hoc Committee, we met on Friday the 31st of July. CR&R gave us some calls and things on the organics, which I'll let Lawrence handle or Dean in a minute. A couple things that we talked about. I thought it was interesting, requests to return mixed waste carts. 156 requests in July.
It's going up to, we get more requests, which is what we're hoping that was happening, that people were want their return their mixed waste cards, and it's going up. That's good.
1,500 exemptions for the organics cart as of the end of the month.
Which will be below our projection. We're projecting 3,000, so it's going to come well below our projection.
Say that again.
We were projecting 3,000 exemptions, and at this rate, we're going to be well below that.
People seem to be using them. I mean, except for Mark Harris. I mean, a resident came into my, no, he's very upset about it. He was from the beginning, because the food, when he puts it in there, stinks. So, but it is some Facebook blog or someone that put something about how do you get rid of the gnats, and there were a whole list of suggestions. People were telling, if you do this, or if you put a jar of vinegar out there by it, it cleans things up. So I think people are adapting to this, doing okay with it. I mean, next week's your last week.
This is the last week.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm having a countdown.
Oh, this is, yeah,
I was thinking next week too, Lauren. You'll have yours this week. Don't worry. You want to talk about August 5th or the workshop you went to? Laguna Niguel?
Laguna Niguel, well, Dean can check on it too. I mean, it was a pretty good workshop, and CNR has scheduled a couple of workshops, one in North Orange County, in the city of Orange. They had a couple weeks ago, and they had a big one last week down at Laguna Niguel, where representatives from Aliso Viejo, Mission Viejo, Lake Forest, San Luis Capistrano, Laguna Niguel, good crowd of representatives from other cities there. And so CNR talked about the mandates that are coming down and the plan that cities have to have. They have to have a plan by July 1st next year. January 1 next year. What are they going to do for their green waste and organics? How are they going to convert that? They have a plan with the state. And so Dean was on Costa Mesa. They're already on board. They have a plan. It could be like Costa Mesa. Well, it's the city's responsibility to do that. So the city will be doing that. So they'll get the data from Javier, and Javier will they're responsible for doing that. But Cal Recycle staff is there, so they know about our program. And so then I gave a little presentation about our program, and we fielded some questions. And it went pretty well. We got some cities that are going on the agenda here in a couple weeks.
What about the commercial piece that we cities responsible for the commercial?
Yeah.
They don't have
I maybe you can tell, but I think what they're going to do, first of all, they're just going to leave up the franchise holders to vote the plan.
That's what
Yeah,
they could have to submit it in January, what the plan is.
Yeah.
This is, that have to include the commercial plan.
Yeah, I'm sure there's, yeah.
Lawrence or Dean, do you want to touch on the graphs you showed? Or?
Sure. For the meeting, I pulled together just some of the general information, and it was one, how many calls we're getting about it. A lot of the calls were focused on, what goes into the bin, just clarification of the program. So far, we've received a total of 1,306 calls. That's an average of about 34 per day. And then, so that's not much more than average on anything. This isn't only about organics. This is just how many calls people from the city of Costa Mesa calling in. It could also be for a card exchange, things like that. So the call volume, in short, hasn't really dramatically gone up with people opposing the program or what have you. And when they are calling about the organics, it's primarily just focused on questions, clarifying questions like we had originally thought it would be. And then the second was an idea of, the tonnages that we are, producing now. And it just shows the graph of how it's, slightly gone up over the period of time because, the first week was just first week of cards and so on and so forth. So we're about, 7-8 tons a day now. I mean, so that's the average of where we're at. There was a spike in it, you can see from the graph, and that spike was, when we did get a little bit of moisture, what they might call rain. You know, but, so, you know, that's what spiked it a little bit because, you know, carts got wet, things got a little heavier and things like that. But, so we're averaging about, you know, 7 to 8 tons a day now.
Is that what you expected, or did you expect more?
Well, it's really too early to say. Right now, we had planned on going from 9 routes to 10 routes, adding one additional truck. Right now, we're at about 1.5 organics and the rest mixed. Eventually, we intended to be at 7 and 3, and we're hoping to be there. We're projecting to be there probably the next 2 weeks.
And eyeballing it from the truck, we're probably getting about a 50-55%, you know, participation. Part of that is probably also folks, you know, may not have a full cart, they're not rolling it out, you know, but, I mean, so about half of the carts that are out there are being serviced at this point. And that's not statistically, that's just by eyeballing it from the driver's perspective.
I had, I don't remember if I brought this up to the meeting, but I had a couple of comments from people. One of my customers was telling me that they told their neighbor, you can't put, she saw him putting branches or something in one of the mixed waste carts, the big one. You can't do that. You can't do that. And I said, yeah, it's okay. Go ahead. I mean, don't worry about it. The other one was people, I think you just hit it. If they don't fill it up, a lot of people are just keeping it until they fill it up, which is okay. I mean, but all these little urban rumors or urban myths that are going around about what you can't. Oh, somebody told me that I can't put palm fronds in the organic. I said, really? That's all I have in my backyard is palm trees. So there's still a lot of misconceptions. Not major things, but they'll blow over.
And we are seeing a bit more of contamination from the first week, you know, as the program grows, but, you know, a lot of that I think is, you know, touched upon, you know, the multifamily, you know, just using whichever trash can might be most convenient. But, you know, as far as the contamination, we are starting to see it sort of gradually spike up. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on and see how we can address it. I know, you know, the district did a great job with the public outreach and things, but as we heard earlier from the scavenging, you know, people not clearing their carts, you know, that's just a tough area to...
I think there was a percentage of people that thought, this couldn't be mine, I didn't put that up. So they left it sitting out there, you know. Selena, you've been wrong.
I just was wondering what the status was on the liners for the little buckets, because people are having a fit. They really want more than just money, and apparently Target hasn't been doing it. And I think Mark said something about the CVS in Huntington Beach.
They use them as trash bags.
Yeah. But why can't CVS see it in Costa Mesa, which they have a couple of CVS, 2 or 3. I was wondering, you know, if we could talk to anybody on this, or how we can get more liners, because we at the college, I have people who, you know, want to know where to go, and I just keep saying mothers, because I don't know any others.
Are you referring to the Convictions Act? Okay, yeah, we periodically update the website with the stores that have them available. That Beyond has them, and that's reflected on the website. But then, you know, prior to implementation, we sent out letters to local retailers in Costa Mesa urging them to have these in stock. Some of them responded and were cooperating with us, but, you know, we have no jurisdiction over having the stores knocking them bad. It's up to the store manager. We can only recommend, you know, for the time being, reminding it with newspapers that are, you know, have short ink on them, and using brown paper bags to help alleviate with the odor.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, we have no control on whether these stores have them available.
Let the directors know where they are.
Yeah.
That would help.
That was things more finalized.
Amazon.com, all we have available.
Yeah, all I know is one.
I can
They don't
send
care about the newspapers and the brown bag. They want
I can send an update to Scott and then when he sends you the update. So we do, it's updated on the website. We do indicate that the Target on Harvard is out of stock. But Targets in other cities have them available and they're on.
So they put them in the boys section or the girls section?
But, you know, it shows.
They don't do that anymore.
I heard that last night.
They do.
They care about it.
Can't differentiate.
So it's just a matter of
They just take the boys
where
and
to
girls section down
help
to
them.
that.
Can I ask a question? When is our next newsletter coming?
Our next newsletter, I was sent a questionnaire, I just submitted it, so it should be out in September.
Do you have any information?
Organic.
Okay, good.
You already knew the answer.
That's what I was
That was a
getting at.
rhetorical question, I understand.
Rob,
Thank you. Understanding how much food restaurants have and that we never see any of the commercial haulers in Costa Mesa participating in education, such programs. Anyone who's a business owner in the city would know that. Is there any way, I know we just rolled out our program, is there any way that a restaurant could ask to be on the program? And let's say you're one of the independent haulers in the city. So if you were an independent hauler and somebody said, I have a restaurant, could you come back and say, well, if we serve you for commercial, then we can also pick up organic all day free. Is that a possibility, or is that down the road, or what do you think?
Well, it's definitely a possibility. The issue with Costa Mesa, because there's multiple haulers, is that Gary Monahan asked about it. The problem with picking up organics is that it's going to probably be double the trash rate. Because if I come all the way off route to pick up one commercial business.
Well, let's say you don't come off the route. Let's say that you have a route, and maybe not, maybe on this route, how does the driver get home to you? Well, he goes up Harbor Boulevard's got some restaurants, so maybe it's on his way. Or, I don't know, maybe you're picking up, take Monahan, he's on 20th Street on the east side. So maybe he's around the residential area, so maybe on your way out of there, you swing by.
I can't. And the reason I can't is because I can't mix commercial waste with yours. Because otherwise you'd end up paying for it. So it's a difficult situation here in Costa Mesa. I don't know what the city's going to do. They haven't called the haulers together. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Has the city contacted you as a commercial vendor? And they only have like 3 more months.
Yeah, 5 months to turn the plan. Now, I don't know what they're going to say in their January 1 proposals to Cal Recycle. You've got a residential covered, obviously.
I think they contacted the Mike Valier to handle it.
Well, Mike L.A. was handling the bulky item
Yeah.
collection stuff,
Yeah.
which we refused to bid. And I don't know, is he handling organics too?
He's handling
Is
the
he?
organics as well,
So-
from the last time I heard from the city.
If I can follow up on my question, so it looks like more the impediment to you picking up the food from the restaurant is not so much the logistics. You could be right there. It sounds like more it's commingling with ours.
Correct. I can't commingle with yours, and if I did send a separate truck for organics, I need to have a route.
Right.
And one customer that can count.
How many restaurants do you need for a round?
It's still gonna be more money than trash. You think about it, we're paying $43 a ton to compost it, plus another 18 to get it there.
Right.
And the trash rate in Orange County is $32 for the disposal rate. So most customers, when they hear it's gonna be more money, they're not gonna do it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Chief President, do you think the city's aware of the deadline?
I think if Valley is on it, I think they are. That's good news.
Maybe we should send them our approach and say, remember what the drop dead date. I was thinking, is there a next liaison meeting coming in?
Director Schaefer just mentioned, I don't know if I'm here, but it's got to come out pretty soon.
It is. I think it's next
That
month.
should be our presentation.
I think it's next month. No, it's not next month.
It's at the water district, because we bypassed ours, we couldn't make it, so,
I just saw it on my calendar the other day.
so the water district had, I'm not sure.
Just one last parting thing on the organics part of it. At our ISDOC, our Special Districts of Orange County Executive meeting the other day, we talked about a speaker for our October 22nd quarterly meeting where everybody meets. And there was some discussion about maybe having you guys and Mike come to the presentation on organics. It's October 22nd at 11:30. Could you get somebody to just let me know if he's available, and I'll pass that on to our program chair. How long is the
It's
presentation?
a lunch meeting.
About 20 minutes.
Like a 20-minute presentation.
And where are the meetings?
At the Orange County Water District on Wade? What's that street?
Wade?
Ward.
Ward and Euclid. Or not Euclid, Ward and whatever.
CNR would be.
Oh, sure.
That's a good suggestion.
It'd be great, because all the different cities and
A
all.
lot of our water districts,
Yeah.
some of the water districts do the
Yeah.
trash also. So
They're glad with that.
Speaking of that, you're gonna bring it up.
I think he'd be well received.
now, what is the process? Does Fissler have to call, or do you, what, because Jim Fissler is in charge of
The last two speakers, Heather might take care of it.
Okay. Well, I'm saying, that's the protocol. I mean, is he expecting a call from you? Fissler? Okay.
We'll tell Jim this is the program he's on.
Yeah, yeah.
You gonna confirm that?
Mr. President, one thing I just want to mention, as far as kitchen tables goes, it was the last meeting, and we'll probably, I'll have the final numbers to you this Friday, but it will probably reach around 1,800 giveaway, 1,800 kitchen tables.
People still coming in daily?
There's something in it's just tapered off a little bit, it's average about 20 a day maybe.
Don't you think after everybody's got their clothes?
Yeah, we'll still make them available, but we'll take down the tables next week, but they'll still be available, people come in.
Okay.
We're also putting an article in the newsletter for the next one. So usually when we have something in the newsletter, they come in.
We might want to do a review on all the parts are finally distributed. That's kind of recapping what we did and if they meet up with one of those little goodies, come on in and get one.
But I plan, once the AD is operating all the stuff, I've got to contact Channel 7 News and wants to do a story on that. So once we get that rolling, I'm going to invite her in, call Channel 5 and all those news are ready.
All right, thank you. Item number 4 has to do with a presentation that Scott and I saw at the General Manager Summit, CSBA General Manager Summit. And Scott and I talked about kind of showing you guys the survey results. So, Scott, with that, if you want to.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. So, one of the breakout sessions at the General Manager Leadership Summit in Newport Beach was a survey that was conducted by Brent Ives from DHI. And as you see on the screen, they contacted all CSB members, which is about 1,000, over 1,000, and all of DHI clients, so over about 1,500 individuals. And this was general managers and elected officials that they sent surveys on. And I remember receiving that survey, and I submitted my survey. And he got about 10% response, which is not too bad. And there was really 4 fundamental questions that he asked, and it was basically the hiring, several attributes. It's about hiring, the critical professional attributes, the critical general descriptors, and personal attributes. And the results were quite striking, and what we found was interesting was to see is that the results between the GMs and elected officials were very similar. So for example, on the screen here, the question is, what do you believe to be critical hiring attributes for a great general manager? And as you'll see, communication skills were pretty much very close to what they thought was on top. Obviously, I was thinking about people skills were more important. Number 1 is for general managers 3. But then you look at the bottom, education, years in the job, industry, certification, all right at the bottom. All agreed on that. So again, very, very similar to what elected officials and GMs believe are the hiring attributes for general managers. And then if you go down to the next question, What do you believe to be the most critical professional attributes for a general manager? Again, communication was big for the board, but it was also big for GMs as, number two. It's kind of flip-flop, where GMs believe leadership is a big professional attribute as number one, and communication number two, and let's talk about communications and leadership for the professional attributes. Again, the bottom three were pretty much the same: policy analysis and politics. With politics reaching the lowest score, it's very similar. So you see it, team building, both ranked as a third. Organization, it looks like the officers ranked a little bit higher than the GMs did, but again, the goal numbers pretty close. And then the third question: what do you believe to be general descriptors for a great general manager? And again, not to look at the top three, were pretty much the same, just flip-flop a little bit different, where Elizabeth thought strategic was top, and GM thought visionary was the top issue. Both thought being adaptable was important. Again, and then the bottom three, the exact same. Those and general manager thought. So again, I think the survey demonstrates that the elected officials and GMs are basically on the same page on these descriptors.
I think the one that's on that slide, which I thought about a little bit, but if you notice on both sides, the GM and the board, number 4, that was being outgoing and friendly, actually rated higher than being deliberate or cautious. That one to me just, I couldn't correlate. I mean, I think the GM used to be outgoing and friendly, but I think there's some other attributes that probably would roll.
Yeah, that's a good point. Both thought it was, both ranked as number 4. Good point.
So you need to be more outgoing and friendly, I think.
I just shut my door all the time. No one bothers me. And then the last question was on the personal attributes, and again, the top three were the same, just mixed a little bit different. Like Gene thought listening was the top attribute, where let's just not being open-minded. But again, Gene thought open-minded was number 2, and board thought was listening number 2. All agreed positive was top third attribute. And again, to look at the bottom attributes, again, right on target. The GM elected thought, the likes, the hot seat individuals, likes control are low on the phone pole. So self-assured, both agreed. So what was striking about the survey is that the thinking between the elected officials and GMs are really close, very close. So on the last slides, Brent just put some key points here, and it seems that both board members and GMs think about this question similarly. The top three, bottom three are basically the same, what they agreed. Education ranked higher with staff. The industry certification ranked lower than expected. Soft skills. That's for the hiring attributes. For professional attributes, Brent said that politics were low on both board members and GMs. High on both three. High communication leadership was very, very important. And if you go down to general descriptors, like I mentioned, board members thought strategy was very important, where GMs thought visionary, which is basically kind of the same thing. Just strategy, you have a vision. So I think you can say that's pretty much the same thing. The last personal attributes, the 40% personality of the great GM, 40% spread, top, bottom. So that was pretty much it. Thought it was very worthwhile sharing with you that what officials around the state of California and GMs.
Go to that. I was going to say on that next, I think it's the next slide.
Next one after that.
Yeah.
Right
there. Where they talk, I mean, both Brent and David Aranda, I think, really hit on the fact that having the ability to communicate, the ability to interact positively, rank higher than initials after the name. Not that those aren't important, but that the education and all that kind of ranked a little bit lower than being able to be a positive, direct leader.
Now, I have a question. How many were in this?
In the room?
In the room, and also was it consistently people who wanted to be general managers, or was there people that were from boards?
Mostly general managers or staff. Very few elected officials. It's here for staff and museums.
I was just curious.
And so I think 100 people were in the room.
It was probably from the couple seminars that I attended,
It was one of the last seminars, and so back when people are kind of checking out. So usually the 30 seminars are fewer attendance, but it was still a good turnout, about 100 people.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is when they see Brent's name on there, I think a lot of people kind of funnel forward Brent's presentation. He does present very well, but there were being the general manager summit, there was probably a handful of elected officials there.
And now it's right from the FCR main board, because you're representing FCR main, right? While you were there.
Yeah, that was the only SDR other than David.
Good members of the audience ask questions.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, in fact, they tried to have it being,
Because David Aranda gave the perspective of the general manager perspective, and then Brent would give a perspective of the elected official, and then they really try to engage in the audience. What do you guys think? Is that accurate?
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both very good.
Yeah.
I know, we know Brent.
Because David works for Brent.
David.
Dave.
He was terminated from north of the river, or
What was they, Consolidated or something?
yeah, they actually, the group that took over got the other, through the campaign, got enough people elected that would support the consolidation. And as soon as they did that, there were like death threats. I mean, people were going to kill people. So then they terminated David. He's still trying to become a general manager somewhere.
I think retired. I thought he told me he's just put in retirement soon.
Well, but he told us the other day at the board meeting that he's applied for a couple. He hasn't heard anything. It was good. The whole program. I mean, CSDA, of all the organizations I'm involved with, CSDA does a great job with educational programs. And I think just for the staff and general managers, they do a really nice. They make them. I thought they did a good
They
job.
had this one for clerks and board secretaries.
Right.
You know, they have separated conference for that, and they have other conferences for staff. It's not just for museums, and they really open up for elected officials and for staff. It's top-notch organization.
Compared to like the League of Cities or whatever they call that.
Pretty CASA, for that matter.
Yeah.
You know that certification program they have?
Yeah.
They stole that from the school district, the CSDA, school district organization. They didn't steal it. I mean, the school district actually offered it to them, and this is like 15 years ago.
Really?
I didn't realize.
Yeah. Now, the school district, they had that program way before
Well, you were on the school district,
Yeah,
so you
that's
know.
why I know. And I went to a couple of those conferences like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Good. A lot of this we'll use, or not a lot of it, part of this we use for the Scott to do the evaluation next year. Thanks for presenting us tomorrow. Okay, item 5, the waste and recycling update.
Yeah, I think get Lex.
Elizabeth Pam will be giving the report.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. President, fellow board members, and staff. The meeting, I'll just do like a brief update on the meeting. It really consisted of 5 presentations. Jesus Perez provided the legislative update. AB 45 Mellon, which was the mandatory HHW door-to-door collection, was inactive. This was a bill that the board opposed. AB 1063 Williams was recently amended on July 15th. The bill seeks to increase the tipping fees from $1.40 to $5. Now, this is a temporary increase until 2022, but the tipping fees will decrease to $3.50. The fees will be used to fund CalRecycle programs that promote, renewable energy programs. The bill was written with an urgency clause, so when it is passed, it will be effective immediately. As a result, the generator fees will also increase. They have not disclosed much information on how it will impact households or businesses. OC Waste and Recycling have yet to take a position. They will provide more information. and the bill was mentioned in the waste disposal agreement that we recently signed. Peter Livingston presented on the Renewable Technologies Implementation Plan, which seeks to address the current decline in tonnages. As you know, it's declined by 34% since 2005, and the county will lose approximately, based on their projections, 17 million. So the county has emphasized that the plan focus on cost-effective renewable technology solutions, business opportunities for OC waste recycling, other than operating landfills, funding and partnering options available for OC waste recycling technology projects. Cal Recycle just provided a brief update on 1826. They're still kind of sorting through the regulations of the new bill. They provided a website link for any updates that they have for AB 1826 and for the new mattress stewardship law. They also provided some information on some new grants for renewable technology, which might have something to do with anaerobic digesters in California. So that might be a funding opportunity for CR&R. Isaac Novella provided a brief update on the waste disposal agreements that we recently signed. There were 32 signed agreements out of 34. As you know, we need them all signed in order to have it passed.
The last two are cities too, aren't they?
Yes, they are Irvine and San Juan
Right.
Capistrano.
Have landfill.
They have landfill, so they're negotiating with OC Waste Recycling on what is an equitable agreement for them because they are impacted by the landfill.
They have a greater impact.
Yeah.
They want more money.
Yeah, they do.
They have a greater impact. If they have landfill, they have more trucks filling the city, filling their station. So they have a more.
So is that referring to the fishing season or what?
No,
No.
this is different.
Remember,
I remember.
Yeah.
yeah,
The waste disposal agreement that we signed that would
Right.
give us approximately 80,000. We needed, in order to get that, we needed all the cities to sign into the agreement. San Juan Capistrano and Irvine, they are holding out because they want something more equitable since they have landfills in their cities and they are impacted more environmentally. So therefore they extended the extension to, the deadline to September 30th of 2015. And then the last presentation was provided by Discovery Cube. They are expanding and they provided a brief report. So it was really neat to see that.
What was that? Discovery?
Discovery Cube, they're expanding their location. And they're going strong with organics. They don't have Taco Bell anymore. They're having organic kitchen in there, making everything in-house. Taco Bell was in there, yeah. But
I've
they,
never been, I don't have children. When you talked about, are we applying for grants from their program?
Yes, as an update with the county, their regional grant will not be available until January 2016. When it becomes available, we will be applying for it. Aside from the Cal Recycle grant, the only other grant that we had was the HHW, which we received. We got the full amount of $50,000, and we start using that towards the coming years for our HHW events and our programs that we provide.
When did we get that grant officially?
Officially, well, we were only granted a portion of it, which was $47,000. They contacted me about 2 months ago saying that we received the full amount of $50,000.
Does that amount apply to a higher amount for our budget?
They will offset a lot of the
So it's just
operational
an
costs.
offset or not added to it? Just
Yes,
offset.
like for instance, we pay about $20,000 to have the HHW event. That would go directly towards that. So definitely a cost savings for us.
You had mentioned earlier in the report, think about, I don't remember which bill it was, about the statewide HHW that we opposed.
Yes, that was 8045.
45. Didn't it get, yeah, it never got out of committee, did it?
No, but they feel like it'll come back again.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, and you know,
Bill, isn't it? I think it was a 2-year bill. And the guy, the sponsor, was very
yeah, you
aggressive. I can't remember his name, but
Melon.
Mellon. He was very aggressive about wanting to get that thing through, but nobody supported
No,
it.
they didn't have enough in the bill where it was just a safe hazard. You can't, you know, it's ideal, but it's really not safe to have all that HH7 on the streets. And they were talking about collecting sharps too, and you don't want that.
Scott, is that the bill that we opposed?
Yes, that was
That was Sacramento.
Right. The other, just as kind of a side on HHW, I had someone talk to me the other day about a neighbor who had passed away, and they had a bunch of medication. And I know when my father-in-law passed away, my wife took everything over to Stevens. They're still accepting it.
They still are, because they actually get a lot of pharmaceuticals prices. There's the increase.
Well, this person that I was talking to called the police department and asked what to do with the stuff. And you know what they told her? Flush it down the toilet.
No. We'll send something to the PD.
Yeah, I forgot to, I was going to send you an email, then I forgot.
We actually have a program where we take an old U.S. mail postal box.
Really?
One of the old mailboxes they used to see on curbsides, and those have been converted into pharmaceutical collection points. A lot of agencies do it, but with a lot of public education out there.
From Lions Club, there's a program where they took some of the old mailboxes, put Lions Clubs up for used eyeglasses. Same.
Police departments in different cities actually do that. So for Costa Mesa, to tell them to
When she told me that, I said, no, don't do that.
I'll contact them.
Just a
No, we're not contact them. Yeah.
Twitter.
Just when Elizabeth talked about the fitness fee on the $5, what was that, how does that impact us?
Well, we have to sit down with CRNR and see what we want to do. They might come back with a request for increasing.
So that could affect us financially. Okay, when would that take effect?
Well, if it passes, it's immediate. Yeah.
Do you think that's going to pass, or what you think?
I think it is.
Is that going to?
But they need the money.
Yeah, they're losing 17 million. So, I mean, we spoke to Gene about it briefly before. He said CRNR would have to remain neutral because Polycycle safety needs the funding.
But that would increase our fitness fee.
It'll impact us.
That will impact us.
Yeah.
Are we planning for that? Or?
Haven't yet.
That's what it's,
We'll see.
It's a big increase, though. Yeah. I'll update the board when I receive more information about that.
Any other questions? Seminar calendar.
Thank you, Mr. President. The board requested a calendar of upcoming events, so I'll put that in the agenda on the screen. If there's anything that we're missing, please let us know. We'll update that, but these are the events that come up in the next year or two.
Oh, that's great. Appreciate it.
The only one that isn't on here the one in Pomona that I had requested to go to, Milani had the information, that solid waste. Remember that one?
Yeah.
It's at the Fairplex in Pomona in November or something.
Okay, I'll find it. We'll update it.
And then, no one's going to Casa next week, right?
we didn't know about the video.
Yeah, well, we got notification of it.
Now, do we, with these dates, are we going to get information prior to this that we get in the hand?
Yeah, a lot of the time the organization will give us the information about the events coming up. Definitely.
You know, I'm looking at this, Savannah, and it's only in Huntington Beach.
Well, that's the Southern California chapter. That's the whole, that's the national organization. It's just the
Yeah,
Southern California.
I know.
Oh, that was their workshop.
Yeah.
We have postcards.
Yeah.
No, I don't see that. South Swan and South California.
Okay. You see any country?
We usually have it all over the country.
I think it's in Orlando this year.
Or
it was in Orlando.
Yeah, there's also the zero waste conference.
The road to zero waste is the one I'm talking about, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Pomona. I went to last year, but I thought it was really good.
Yeah, we do. Some of it. But you don't think the Huntington Beach one is worthwhile?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, that's
Well, I'm
close.
saying, how do we get something?
I'll get some information.
Okay, yeah.
The other one, maybe I'll ask Arlene, it says, there's a leadership, January CSBA Leadership Academy in La Quinta. That's the one where we all went to in Napa. But then we went in Anaheim, didn't they do updates for, okay.
Are we due for updates or?
We are in
The last one, that's already in.
We are in
I didn't do it.
Well, this was, remember they had different subjects.
Yeah.
There was
That
that
was
hotel
good.
near Disney.
Yeah.
I thought we got
I've got
information.
Yeah.
They, like,
did.
again, they did, it was very good.
Remember how impressive we were?
I created an ad hoc.
Yeah.
We had about 3 or 4 different speakers.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so we can kind of stay tuned to this. I'm going up there, we went up to Sacramento the week after next for 2 weeks in a row. So I'll be finding that stuff.
Okay, anything else? Scott? Harassment training, you want to give an update on that?
Yeah, I think, again, as requested by the board, again, update on our sexual harassment training, which was required. All the board and management are required to take this training. It's required at the 2-hour mandatory minimum 2-hour training every 2 years. And I am pleased to report that the entire board and all management is up to date on our sexual harassment training. That's good.
I just did mine 2 weeks ago through Carter Solutions.
Yeah, and this is very important as part of the district extinction, which we got to apply here real soon. So this is one of the requirements.
I was, again, when you do it online, you can finish it in about a half an hour. But you have to go, you have to stretch it out
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
2 hours.
Walk around.
Better.
Out of curiosity, on the CSBA one, what all are we trying to apply for at the conference?
Well, we know we'll get at least the certificate of excellence and transparency. We've got awarded that, so we'll get that award. That's been another 2 years. We submitted an award for exceptional public outreach for the organics program. We did that, and then the board directed the first deal of the year. So that's three applications, plus 3 awards.
But also, ISDOC is applying for chapter of the year. Which is first be chapter 3 to be shot. All right, anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Item 8, any future items? Anybody want to talk about?
The only thing I wanted to say was that, when the Special Olympics was on, I drew through all of us, the green bags, the canvas bags, 100 of them to the Special Olympics, and they stuffed it with all their stuff. And so we have a real nice letter thanking us for this, and also that we were actually exposed, that word, a banner at City Hall that said, that we.
You made that exposed, but I don't think we.
Oh, well, that's okay. So, and then I got a nice letter sitting on the committee for the Special Olympics as a chair, doing everything. So,
A couple quick things that are oral director comments. Were you going to introduce someone?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. We have one of the new employees who's filling in for Nolani. Gina, and I'm going to murder your last name.
Remember I was telling him about getting his openness and friendliness together. He'll get your name.
We're still in nicely for Nolani. She comes from Mesa Water. She's an intern at Mesa Water. Has a degree in public administration master's degree in public administration from Long Beach State.
A dirt bag.
Yeah, she's not from Fullerton like that.
All the smart people went to Fullerton.
Hey, Barbara,
Oh, wait a minute. San Jose State.
Delana here today?
No, she's at home.
How's the baby doing?
That's why she's at the hospital.
Problems here. Not good problems?
I don't know.
We're being hopeful. Positive energy.
Good. Keep us posted. Good to know. Thank you. Gina, welcome aboard.
I've got one thing. Jeff Arbor, Bill Marsh's son-in-law. He's the second in command of waste management out there. I don't know if he'd be a good speaker for ISDOC or not, but he would know And I know if there's any issues, I know some of the members certainly have, it would be apropos, but, he might be
Great. Okay, I'll pass it on.
I've got the.
Maybe invited to one of the Lions Club meetings. Started out with that, I think, speaking of that.
Yeah, see how
That would be real good, private one.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I've never met her, but I've heard a lot
Yeah,
about
he's
it.
good. Yeah, he's a smart guy.
Just a thought.
He's with the fish.
His wife's a great girl. She works in
Oh,
The other thing I forgot, Nolani sent a note about the We Rock training. There's one today,
Yeah.
and the one on the 26th.
I'm going to.
I'm gonna enroll. I think she enrolled me at least for the 26th.
we've gone already.
Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't
It
go.
is.
Oh, is it? So we don't need to do it?
No.
With same
Oh.
thing as we
It's
did
the
at
same
Christmas
thing,
Day, yeah.
remember we had trouble finding the place?
Oh, yeah,
It's up the canyon somewhere.
Yeah.
We didn't have any trouble. You did.
Well, for you two that don't use iPads, they have this new thing called GPS. And you plug it in, it takes you right there.
Good.
Okay, nothing else. We'll adjourn to the next meeting.
Very good. Thank you.